Hey, it's me, Dr. Wendy, here to give you guys the quick and dirty skinny on how to stay clean. Sun's out, buns out, but do we want to be out here stinking and smelling? No, and there are a lot of things that we can do to try to prevent that. So first off, let's talk about some reasons why some people may have a smell. Like, part of smells can be, the light is so weird. I'm so weird with lights. Part of a reason for smells can be bacteria on the skin. Bacteria, and that doesn't mean a person's dirty. That just means the bacteria can cause certain odors that can really permeate and come through when it comes to your genital region. Same is true for your underarms. That's why we have antiperspirants, because we want to reduce the perspiration or the sweat that bacteria can latch onto that can cause those smells. Because the smells don't really come from inside of our bodies. They come from the bacteria that eat the oils and the sweat that come outside of our body. And the groin is a very common place for those smells to arise. So one thing that we can do to try to reduce smells is actually to keep hair trimmed. Doesn't mean we have to be hairless. I mean, that's a person's choice, right? But to not have very long hair, because hair can hold and trap not only sweat and moisture, but also it is a larger surface area for bacteria to hold on to. So I always recommend my patients who find themselves kind of a little bit more smelly when they're hot and when it's sweaty outside to keep the hair trimmed. And I'm a huge fan of electric razor, electric trimmer. I've told you guys that before. So that's one thing. Making sure that whatever you're washing with as well is somewhat antibacterial. So, you know, it's great to have like the moisturizing body washes and soaps. One, I don't like a lot of fragrance down there, but I also want something that's going to actually get rid of some of those oils and the bacteria that's on the surface of the skin. So making sure you have something, you know, that is compatible with your skin, but that actually gets you clean. And I'm not a huge fan of reused washcloths. If you want to use a washcloth, I really want to make sure that you're using you're not using the same one every night, or the same one every day, that you're changing them out, because washcloths can also hold a lot of bacteria. So you want to have a fresh washcloth when you're washing, if that's what you're going to use. Or, you know, I like these silicone scrubbers that kind of, you know, get a little bit of not abrasiveness, but they kind of like can get down to the nitty gritty, if you will, of the skin. So that's something to consider in your shower. So hair reduced, bacteria reduced with whatever you're washing with. And then you want to like think about what's going on inside of the vagina. So causes of smell could be infection, which may or may not be sexually related, right? So not always STIs, although sexually transmitted infections can sometimes cause smell. But something like a bacterial vaginosis can cause a smell. Sometimes yeast can even cause a smell. And that's where something like a boric acid could come into play. Now, don't use boric acid unless you talk to your healthcare provider. But boric acid suppositories inside of the vagina, not to be swallowed, can actually reduce the growth and presence of the bacteria that cause bacterial vaginosis and that cause yeast. It actually inhibits the growth of those bacteria in studies. So it's actually a reasonable alternative to even antibiotics when used for those things. Now, I will tell you that BV and yeast actually work or are eliminated best when there is an antibiotic involved, and then maybe a boric acid to supplement if a person has like a full-on infection. But say you're somebody who's just prone, and you know, like, as soon as I start feeling a little itch or start noticing a little smell, something is coming. Good time to possibly use a boric acid suppository, like overnight. Just put one in the vagina. No intercourse, ideally. No, definitely nothing oral right down there, because again, it's toxic. You don't want to swallow that or have somebody else ingest it. But you certainly can use it to try to head off the infection at the pass. So, and not to be used when a person is pregnant or could be pregnant, because we don't have a lot of data about the safety when it comes to pregnancy or harm to unborn babies. So you don't want to do that. But if you are either on birth control or, you know, using some other form of contraception, then it should be fine. And again, make sure with your healthcare provider that it's okay with you. And then just don't be afraid to get checked out by your healthcare provider. Like, again, certain types of infections, it's not every smell is not yeast. Sometimes it's not an infection at all. Sometimes it's just how you smell. It's just how your body, you know, the hormones and things that work together within you. You might do well with a probiotic. There are certain probiotics that are actually specifically assigned to help the vagina's normal bacteria be present, and that can help to control odor as well. I really like, and this is not sponsored, but I really like Claire V by Bonafide. I have done promotional stuff for them before, but the reason, only time you ever see me do promotional stuff is with products that I already support or recommend. So this is not a sponsored statement, but I do like Claire V as a probiotic for the vagina, and it has been demonstrates benefit to reducing smell in the vagina. Again, I like things that are evidence-based, things that have some sort of a science backing, and this one does. So if you're somebody who really suffers with a lot of intravaginal smell, like the discharge that comes out smells, then that might be something to consider. But also, you know, every smell is not just from inside the vagina. Sometimes it is the groin, and that's where, you know, you might want to consider an electric shaver to keep the smell down, or to keep the hair down, I mean, and, you know, make sure that your washing techniques are really reducing the amounts of oils and perspiration that is lingering on your skin. It's normal to have a little funk after you work out. Like I've seen ads like, oh, you know, you want to be able to run around the block and not stink. Like, are you the bionic human? Like, I promise you that everybody has a little smell if they work out or if they sweat. Like, I expect to work out and then need to take a shower. Like, that's human. You know what I'm saying? So to like promote a product that's going to stop you from having a smell after you shower, after you work out, like, I don't get that. But, you know, who am I? Just a gynecologist who thinks it's normal to be normal. You know what I mean? Like, that's why my Instagram is like normalizing normal things. It's normal to have a smell after you've exerted yourself, you know, intensely, and to have to shower and kind of start over. Like, that's normal. And to try to eliminate that as a problem, it just feels like, you know, anyway, neither here nor there. I hope that this has been helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I want to be there to help y'all to kind of not only normalize normal things, but just to enlighten and refresh our knowledge on how we can live this life comfortably. Y'all have a great one. Bye.